I heard you have a story about going to a club that was the wrong one.
In 2002, Margie Coyle was my manager, and she went through quite a bit of difficulty as my manager. And one of the problems was I called her from Iowa when I was supposed to be at a club in Indiana. And I had gotten the weeks mixed up, and I was like about a day's drive away from the correct club. So I spent the night at like the Motel 6 in Iowa, and then the next day drove to Indiana. Everybody was real mad, except Margie was very nice about it. But we were talking about it on the way here, and she was like, it kind of wasn't, that was just kind of the things that you did when she also remembered, I think more than once I called her from the road in my car crying. Just random. I wasn't good at doing the road. I was pretty good at drinking all the money I made, though.
Was this drinking related that you went to the wrong place?
Only in the indirect sense that all I could do was like put effort into being a pleasant drunk, and then the next day find like Tylenol and Advil, and so I didn't take care of anything else. And so I just looked at my calendar and read it wrong and drove to the wrong club. And then I also called the club and told them I couldn't make it because there was a tornado warning. And it was actually just that I had left way too late to get there in time.
Did you make up the tornado warning, or you were like, oh, this will be the perfect excuse?
There was a very heavy thunderstorm, and I'm positive there was a tornado warning somewhere in the state. But I was not actually in an active tornado warning. I just was like 6 hours from the club, and the show was starting in like 3 hours. So I was like, I'm not going to make it. There's a tornado warning. And I still owe that person an apology now that I think about it.
And Tornado Warning was the name of your first album.
Tornado Warning was my first album, and then American Graffiti was my second album.
And that one was just a soundtrack of the songs from
It was
the film.
actually just the soundtrack of the movie, the whole movie, including
dialogue
the dialogue
included.
Yeah.
You're just telling us that you got 2 new kittens.
Yes, I did. I got, their names are Gary and Barry.
Okay.
And they're 6.5 weeks old, so they're really, really tiny.
And where did you get these guys?
From Austin Pets Alive Kitten Nursery.
Okay.
Technically, I'm their foster mother, because you can't adopt them till they're a little older. But
I see.
I'm not giving them back. So they'll never see those kittens again.
You found a loophole.
You just pretend you want to be a foster, and then you get the kittens you want, and then you tell them you're not going to give them back.
And you recommend that? That's something that people do?
I feel like there's people who are good at fostering, and then there's other people who are not. I would end up keeping, if I had taken more than 2, I would end up keeping however many I foster, you know?
You feed them with a little bottle and stuff?
I feed them with a little tiny silverware set and some little doll china. No, they eat on their own. They're just old enough to where you don't have to feed them with a syringe or anything. Thank you. It is
Congrats.
quite an accomplishment.
Now that you are doing a lot more stand-up gigs lately at a Comedy Central special, are you going back out on the road? Is that something you're gonna try again?
I'm a little too tightly wound mentally to do the road a lot, even though I don't drink anymore. So I think always go to the right club nowadays. But I'm doing still can't remember my schedule though. Even though I only do it like once
This
a
doesn't
month.
seem like you're really reformed at all. No
Where
offense.
am I going next week? Bloomington, Indiana, which I've heard is really fun.
Well, getting ready to put your jacket on, it seems like.
I'm just repositioning it so it's a more flattering lump in my lap.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thanks for talking with us.
And have a great time in Bloomington, Indiana.
Thanks, John Merriman, and funniest person in Austin this week.
Oh, yeah, and she's the funniest person in Austin. She wanted me to mention that one more time. In 2000. And pick 2000. Pick up the Tornado Warning and the Graffiti album.
The American Graffiti.
At Sam Goody.
Audio from the...
Goody got it.
An hour and a half. Well, he cut me off, but...